January 2026. The Nevada desert. A photographer captures something in the sky. A triangle-shaped aircraft, silent, moving at impossible speed, directly over the most classified military base in America, Area 51. The internet explodes. UFO enthusiasts call it proof. Skeptics say it's a stealth drone. Government officials? They say nothing. This is Area 51's curse. Every sighting reignites the legend. Every denied aircraft fuels the conspiracy. For 70 years, this patch of Nevada desert has been the epicenter of America's greatest mystery. What is Area 51 really? And why do we still think it's hiding aliens? This is the story of how America's most secret base created the UFO myth, and why, despite decades of declassified documents, we still don't know the whole truth. 1955. The Cold War is at its peak. The Soviet Union is developing nuclear weapons. The CIA needs intel, but Soviet airspace is impenetrable. The solution? A spy plane that can fly higher than anything the Soviets can shoot down. Lockheed's Skunk Works, led by legendary engineer Kelly Johnson, builds it. The U-2. It can reach 70,000 feet, twice the altitude of commercial aircraft. From that height, it can photograph Soviet military installations with stunning clarity. But there's a problem. They need a place to test it. Somewhere remote, somewhere secret, somewhere the Soviets will never find. April 1955, Kelly Johnson, CIA officer Richard Bissell, and an Air Force colonel fly over Nevada in a small plane. They're looking for an airstrip. What they find is a dry lake bed called Groom Lake. It's perfect, middle of nowhere, next to the Nevada test site where the government is already detonating atomic bombs. The area is restricted, guarded, and so remote that no one will accidentally stumble upon it. They call it the ranch. Later, it gets a designation on military maps. Area 51. Construction begins immediately. A runway is built on the lakebed. Hangars go up. Housing for workers. Everything is classified. The CIA doesn't even tell the Air Force what they're building. By mid-1955, the U-2 is ready for its first test flight, and that's when the UFO sightings begin. Here's what people didn't know in the 1950s. Commercial aircraft flew at 20,000 to 30,000 feet. Pilots were used to looking up and seeing nothing but empty sky. Suddenly, they're seeing metallic objects at 60,000 feet. Objects that shouldn't exist, moving at speeds no known aircraft could achieve. At sunset, it gets worse. The sun, low on the horizon, hits the U-2's polished fuselage. From the ground, it looks like a fireball streaking across the sky. Pilots report UFOs to the FAA. The FAA investigates. They find nothing, because the CIA can't tell them the truth. The U-2 program is so classified that even air traffic controllers don't know it exists. So when pilots report seeing something at impossible altitudes, the government has two choices: admit they're testing a secret spy plane, or let people think it's something else. They choose option 2. CIA documents declassified in 2013 confirmed it. More than half of all UFO reports from the late 1950s through the 1960s were accounted for by manned reconnaissance flights over the United States. The U-2 created the modern UFO phenomenon, and the CIA let it happen. But it gets stranger. In the 1960s, Area 51 starts testing something even more advanced. The A-12 Oxcart, the predecessor to the SR-71 Blackbird. It flies faster and higher than the U-2. Mach 3, 85,000 feet. More sightings, more UFO reports, more government denials. And with every denial, the conspiracy grows. By the 1980s, Area 51 is synonymous with aliens. Books are written, documentaries are made. The government still won't admit the base exists. Then, in 1989, a man walks into a Las Vegas TV station and tells a story that changes everything. His name is Bob Lazar, and he claims he worked at Area 51, not at the main base, at a site called S4, hidden in the mountains south of Groom Lake. And what he says he saw there sounds like science fiction. According to Lazar, the US government has 9 alien spacecraft. He was hired to reverse engineer their propulsion systems. The craft, he says, use an element 115, to bend gravity and travel faster than light. He describes briefing documents that mentioned extraterrestrial biological entities. He says the craft were found during archaeological digs. He claims the government has been hiding this for decades. And when he went public, he says the government erased his records, his MIT and Caltech degrees gone, his employment history wiped. They wanted to discredit him. The world loses its mind. But here's the problem. Investigators find no evidence Bob Lazar attended MIT or Caltech. Element 115, moscovium, was synthesized in 2003, but it doesn't behave the way Lazar described. Colleagues from Los Alamos, where Lazar says he worked, have no memory of him in the roles he claims. Some details do check out. He knew classified terminology. He accurately described security procedures at Area 51. He led people to Groom Lake's perimeter and correctly predicted test flight schedules. So what's the truth? Believers say he's a whistleblower. The government erased his records to silence him. Everything he predicted about Element 115 was proven when scientists synthesized it years later. Skeptics say he's a hoaxer. He worked at Los Alamos in a low-level role, read classified documents, and fabricated the rest. The verdict? We still don't know. But Bob Lazar did one thing for certain. He made Area 51 inseparable from alien conspiracy. Even today, every new sighting is viewed through the lens of his claims. 2013, the CIA does something unprecedented. They release a declassified internal history of the U-2 program. For the first time ever, they admit Area 51 exists. They publish a map. They confirm Groom Lake's location. The document reveals everything. How the U-2 was developed, how the A-12 and SR-71 followed, how test flights created UFO sightings, how the CIA knew about the reports but couldn't reveal the truth. It even describes their tactics for avoiding Soviet spy satellites, building massive hangars to hide aircraft, creating fake heat signatures to confuse infrared sensors. But here's what the document doesn't say. Anything about Bob Lazar, anything about S4, anything about alien technology. And critically, it doesn't reveal what Area 51 is working on now, because the base is still active, still testing classified aircraft, still completely off-limits. Which brings us back to January 2026. The Dorito Aircraft, triangle-shaped, silent, fast. UFO experts say it looks like the craft Bob Lazar described. Aviation analysts say it's likely a next-generation stealth drone. The government says nothing. Here's the pattern. In the 1950s, people saw the U-2 and thought aliens. It was a spy plane. In the 1990s, people saw flying triangles and thought UFOs. They were stealth prototypes. In 2026, people see the Dorito craft and think, proof. It's probably another classified drone. The cycle repeats every generation. Classified tech gets tested. Public sees it. Government denies it. Conspiracy theories flourish. 20 years later, it's declassified and revealed as military hardware. Bob Lazar's legacy isn't whether he told the truth. It's that he made Area 51 the center of every UFO conversation. Every sighting, every strange aircraft, every unexplained phenomenon, it all leads back to Groom Lake. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Some sightings were spy planes. The CIA admitted it. But that doesn't mean all sightings were explained. There are still cases, credible pilots, multiple witnesses, radar confirmation, that don't fit the U-2 or stealth drone explanation. So what's happening at Area 51 right now? We won't know for 20 years. Maybe 50. Maybe never. January 2026. The Dorito Aircraft. The cycle continues. Is it a stealth drone? Probably. Will the government confirm? Not for decades. Will people think it's aliens? Absolutely. Here's what we know for certain. Area 51 is real. The CIA confirmed it in 2013. It created UFO sightings. U-2 flights accounted for half of all reports in the 1950s and 60s. It still tests classified technology. The base is active, guarded, and completely restricted. And Bob Lazar's claims remain unproven. No evidence supports his story, but no evidence definitively disproves it either. Here's what we don't know. What they're testing right now. Whether any sightings were truly unexplained. If Bob Lazar was telling the truth. Area 51's greatest trick wasn't hiding aliens, it was making us believe they could. And until every classified program is declassified, we'll never know if we've been looking at America's most advanced spy planes, or something else entirely. The Nevada desert keeps its secrets, and the legend lives on.